Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful morning, depending on where you are. It's a little dreary here in Richmond, but we hope everyone is having a wonderful start to your day. We are joined here today by Staci Martin, who is the Grants Director with the Virginia Tourism Corporation. She's going to be talking about some of their MMLP grants for us today. So without further ado, Staci, I will go ahead and hand it over to you to get started.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So if we could hold questions till the end, feel free to put your questions in the chat, but I'll review them at the end. We have another webinar with my team going on right now, so I don't have anyone to monitor and answer questions in the chat this morning. This is such a popular program. We have scheduled so many webinars. So welcome. Today, we're going to cover our Microbusiness Marketing Leverage Program webinar. And we've made a couple of changes. This program is open to small businesses, Main Street organizations, other business associations that work in the tourism space with less than 20 full-time employees. Your seasonal and itinerant staff don't count toward the 20 cap, but we really wanted to support really small businesses with this program. That's why we carved it out of our larger marketing leverage program. If you do have more than 20 FTEs, you can still qualify for our marketing leverage program that will open in February of 2026. So here's our grants team. I'm the grants director, and I split my time between Virginia Beach, where I live, and our Richmond office. I'm usually in Richmond 1 or 2 days a week, on the road 1 or 2 days a week, and then in Virginia Beach 2 to 3 days a week in a 7-day week. Noah Salah Adine recently promoted to our grants manager. He is, excuse me, who you would work with on your reimbursements. And Shruti Manimaran is our grants coordinator. She started with us in November and is learning all of our grant programs. She may try to answer some questions from you if you email, but often we'll send those to Noah or I as well as she's learning our programs. So across the state, we have our destination development team. So you can see on the map here, all different places where we have folks embedded in the region, whether that's with a welcome center or a specific destination development manager. I live in Virginia Beach, so I kind of work some of the Hampton Roads areas as well, sometimes go up to Richmond and Northern Virginia. So if you live in any of those areas where there is a destination development manager, I'm happy to put you in touch with them. They can often do site visits and talk you through some of your grant ideas as well. So we changed the program a little bit this year. So we have basically two programs going on at once. There's the DMO MMLP co-op. So that is for DMO. So if you're an officially recognized VTC DMO, that means that your local legislative body, town council, city council, board of supervisors has passed legislation, submitted that to VTC, designated you as the DMO. DMOs are no longer eligible in our traditional MMLP program. So for DMOs, we have a webinar tomorrow, very specific opportunities with the DMO MMLP co-op. And that is, again, only for DMOs. If you're a small business or an organization that is not a DMO, you are eligible in the traditional MMLP program. I know all these acronyms are crazy. If you're a small business or an organization that is not a DMO, you're going to enter into the traditional MMLP program. So in that program, we have 125,000 available to Main Streets and other organizations like planning district commissions, business associations, chambers of commerce, and then 250,000 available for micro businesses. The awards are $5,000, and it's kind of a gateway program to kind of understand how VTC programs work without committing to a very large award and spend down. It's optional for you to use our Vacation Starts with VA flagship campaign templates. You can also use the VA 250 America Made in Virginia toolkit. That's a really great toolkit for like breweries. VA 250 just signed a partnership with the Craft Brewers Guild. There'll be all kinds of things going on with this America Made in Virginia message. Works with other craft beverage, works with our artisans and our artists as well. The $5,000 needs to be spent on off-season marketing. So essentially September to May, our goal is to get award announcements out by mid-August so you can start spending. $5,000 isn't a huge amount of money for marketing. So we really want you to look at, social media and digital, maybe a little bit of print, doing some rack cards in the welcome centers, but really think through how you can maximize these dollars to drive off-season visitation. You do not have to allocate the funding across all 9 months of the spend down period. Let's say your city or community has a really big sort of November to December holiday season, all kinds of events in town, parades. Maybe you want to use this money to do something like shop local, shop American over the holidays. You could do a marketing plan that's just very specific to 1 or 2 months in that September to May spend down period. So the program also requires match. It's 1-to-1 match. It can be in kind or cash match. And so what we mean by in-kind match is it has to be in-kind marketing match. It can't be any of your staff time, none of your inventory, none of your operating costs. What does count as in-kind match is the number of your social media followers, the number of your website clicks, the number of like editorial that you've gotten. There are specific instructions in the grant instructions document on how to value what we call earned media, which is editorial that you didn't pay for, but you've gotten like a quarter page of editorial worth $250 in match. So you don't have to come up with cash match in this program, which makes it an easier gateway program for our smaller businesses. So the kinds of things we like to see in the application, it requires partnerships. We want you working together with your lodging partners, your restaurant partners, craft beverage partners, boutique retail, state parks, national parks, outfitters. We really want to see, and I'll show that in the next slide, what an itinerary might look like for someone who's coming in for a long weekend in your community. Your goal is to get them to cross the threshold into your business, but we also want them spending money in the community as well. One of the things we're really looking at is seeing how your marketing plan can drive some additional overnight visitation in the off season. We also want to look at out of region visitation. So the difference between that is overnight visitation, they're coming in and they're spending at least one night in a hotel or short-term rental. Out of region is people coming in for a day trip from at least 50 miles. They're likely to eat a meal or two in the community, even if they're going to go back home and spend the night. You can use a small amount of the award for local marketing. There's still value on getting people off the couch in your community and out spending money. The other thing we want you to do is think about how you're going to enhance the visitor experience or how you're going to show them through marketing that there's these incredible holiday events going on in your community, or you've got a robust birding community. Fall and early spring is really great to get birders to come out. The leaves are off the trees. They can check off those species off their life list. I'm a former park ranger, and the birding market is really great market for Virginia. They're high dollar spenders. They want to come out and do some bird watching in our parks, and then go out and have some craft beverages, spend the night, and eat a really good meal. One of the things you need to think about is taking a look at our research pages and seeing what the research is telling us. Don't tell me that you're going to choose Philadelphia as a target market because you've been there before and you think that people in Philadelphia will enjoy coming to your town in Virginia. VTC has a robust research page. Most of it is free for you to use. So if you're, let's say, craft beverage, we have a craft beer traveler profile. It tells you how much they spend during an average trip, how long their average trip is, where they're coming from. We want you referencing some of that data. We also want you referencing some of your own data. What are your credit card zip codes telling you? What are your Google Analytics telling you? What are your social media insights telling you? Really hone in. It's only $5,000 on two target markets, one out of state and one in state. And, split your money between trying to get folks to drive in from DC, Baltimore, Charlotte, or getting folks to come in from like our larger urban areas. If you're in Hampton Roads, you want those Northern Virginia folks to come in. If you're, let's say, in Bristol, you want those Richmond folks to come out for a weekend or a long weekend. So in terms of the application, you have to set some goals. So I want to increase visitation from Philadelphia by 5% in the off season. It needs to have a number. We're going to track some performance metrics. It's not super difficult. We want you to set some goals though. This is what I want to do with this $5,000. Look, you're not going to double your sales with $5,000. Probably talking about maybe 3 to 8% increases from a particular target market. And then really think about your marketing message. What makes you special? What makes your business unique where people want to come in and spend some money there? Think through what that looks like. We are entering what we call the runway to America's 250th that will run 2026 to 2031. Recently, just as an example, I met with Green Top up in Ashland. They're super excited about VA 250, America's 250th. So they've created a display of all the Virginia and American-made outdoor rec products that they sell. So if you're in boutique retail, maybe you want to do something like that. You want to promote your American and Virginia-made products in your store, get folks to come in and do some holiday shopping. Maybe again, craft beverage. Maybe you've created a special label or special blend that references a unique or quirky part of history. Maybe you want to promote that as part of your marketing message. Some of our folks, the restaurants band together and they market fall and spring restaurant weeks together. So really think through what that one message is going to be. One really great example I'll share with you, and I don't know if Norfolk is on the call because I can't see all the participants, but their Take a Bite Out of Norfolk campaign, very tight, very succinct, that one message, and they use grant money then to get the word out with that program. So think through what you want to do. Don't try to do everything in all at once. It's $5,000. Really hone in, maybe doing social media, a little bit of print, targeting two different markets. So everything VTC does is sort of based on this hub and spoke itinerary. So we think about your business in the middle, right? You want folks to come into your business, but where are they going to stay? Where are they going to eat? What awesome experience are they going to have? Are they going to go to the aquarium or King's Dominion or the Birthplace of Country Music Museum? Are they going to do some shopping? So what we want to see you do is you're the hub and the hub and spoke model. We want you to identify 2 partners that you're working with. Now, that doesn't mean they have to pitch money into the match. What this means is y'all are working together. Maybe the hotels are offering a package and they're encouraging people to stop in at your store or your brewery or your restaurant. Maybe you're working with several restaurants and on the back of the guest check is a coupon for the boutique retail partner. So really think through how you're going to work together with these folks, knowing that the 2 partners we ask you about, one of them needs to be overnight lodging. And we want those 2 partners and you as the hub working closely together. The spokes are places where other folks the visitors will go and spend money, if that makes sense. So really think through this as sort of an itinerary lens. I'm going to get people to come to my store. I'm going to get people to come to my brewery. And then they're probably going to go some other places. And here are those other places. And here is how I'm going to work with those other places to get the word out that folks need to come into my business. So I talked about research for a moment. These are the kinds of things that we want to see in the research questions. Just tell me the data. You might say VTC visitor profile reports say that craft beverage travelers spend at least 3 nights in destination and an average of $750. Our goal would be to get them to stay 4 nights and spend $800. So really look through the data that we have. Again, look at your data, your credit card data and your zip codes. Got some really good insights in there on where people are coming from. Take a look at your Facebook insights, your Instagram insights. Look around for some other economic impact information. So if you're outdoor rec, we have some outdoor rec studies. We have Black Traveler study. We have sports and youth sports economic impact study. There's also the Virginia Outdoors Plan if you're outdoor rec. We just want to know that you're making smart marketing decisions driven by research. So really think through sort of what's going on in your community. VTC has the flagship campaign running. Vacation starts with VA, which is awesome. Such a great tagline there. Sway is our agency of record. You can also take a look at Brand USA's website. Brand USA is the marketer for the United States of America. We don't see their ads here because we are here, but they're really trying to get international travelers to come into the United States. And of course, we've got a number of international airports in Virginia, which means people are coming to our beaches, to our cities, heading out west to do some outdoor rags. So really think through what other advertising you're seeing and how you can layer that in or piggyback on that. Make sure you're following like our channels. Visit Virginia, hashtag love VA, and think through how you can piggyback on what we're doing or how you can layer in with what we're doing or share some of our content that features your community so people are more inclined to come. Even if your own business isn't mentioned, at least they're getting into the destination. Layer in with your regional partners, especially, I live in Hampton Roads. Coastal Virginia Tourism Alliance is an alliance of, I believe, 7 cities and 3 counties, 10 localities participating, trying to get folks to come to coastal Virginia. There's a number of regional tourism entities. You might want to talk with them and see what kind of advertising they're doing as well. Now, remember, with all the marketing that you submit to us for reimbursement, you have to have that Virginia is for Lovers logo, and we want you to link to Visit Virginia, virginia.org, and hashtag LoveVA. So this is our Vacation Starts with VA initiative here. That's our tagline in the font we're using. And then here is America Made in Virginia. Again, those toolkits are optional, but they give you a really good starting point if you want to kind of embrace some of those for marketing. You can use those logos on your marketing. You can drop in photographs into our templates and then put those out on social media. So don't think that you need to hire an agency necessarily. This is a really small grant. If you're a mom and pop type business, the templates are really easy to use. You just drop in your photograph and we have the logos already in place for you. So a few things here, just some ideas to use the toolkits. I'm really excited about the new tagline, America Made in Virginia. Again, we're already seeing craft beverage embrace that. I know Virginia Beach's Museum of Contemporary Art is actually doing exhibits with Made in Virginia art. So think about how you can piggyback on that America and Virginia story, not just with this grant, but all the way through the commemoration, which goes all the way to 2031. So we've got a 5-year commemoration on deck, really focused on America and not just history. Maybe your business's founding story is pretty cool and you want to, talk about that a little bit in social media, maybe boost that out, maybe get a video made. Maybe your grandfather founded the company back, in the 1930s. Maybe your restaurant used to be a speakeasy. People like that kind of stuff. So really think through how you can piggyback on this sort of innovation, entrepreneurship, and history story with some of these toolkits. So what we want to see also in your marketing plans is, while it's only $5,000, I want to see you doing 2 or more types of marketing. So maybe you're going to do social media, and then you're going to do some print, like rack cards in the welcome centers. Or maybe you're going to have an influencer come in for a couple $1,000s, and then you're going to push out that influencer content on social media. Maybe you're going to do some streaming ads on YouTube, but you need some photography and videography to do that. So I want to see at least 2, if not 3 line items in your marketing plan. It is a small amount of money. We don't expect you to, just spend $100 at each and every channel. Really think about the channels that will work for you, where you can reach your target audience and track who's looking at those ads. So really think about this idea of a capsule campaign with the tagline. It might be something you can use over the next 5 years with the commemoration. Maybe it's something just based on 2025 and the fall holiday season. So talk with your business partners, talk with other folks in the community and really think through, what do we want to do? I really see some drop off in my restaurant business in September, October. Folks are a little cash strapped. They bought back to school supplies. Their kids are back in college. what can I do to attract them to come out on a date night? Really think about a capsule campaign, very focused initiative to get folks to come out to your business in this off season, September to May. So our goal at VTC is really to get from 91 million a day in visitor spending to 100 million a day in visitor spending. We've seen since the pandemic, Tennessee has invested heavily in new hotels. Pennsylvania is just doing an incredible job with manufacturing tourism. So you can watch potato chips being made, ice cream being made, chocolate being made, beer being made. So we need to stay competitive. That's one of the reasons why we do these grants. So you can get the word out and kind of layer in that Visit Virginia message. One thing we want you to do is have some metrics in your grant application. So that might be you have a baseline of sales in September, and you're going to report out to us what your sales might be at the end of the campaign in May. Maybe you have a baseline of room nights from last year, September to October, and you're going to set some goals with this money for September to October and report that back to us, in November and December. So really think through a couple of performance metrics that you can track. It could be, counting the number of visitors that come into your store. It could be your monthly sales. Whatever that might be, we need at least 2 performance metrics reported out in your program. So this is how the application is split up. 25 points for your goals and partnerships. I think this kind of, as our little pie chart estimated a little strangely. Marketing plans are worth the most. Research and data worth quite a bit too. 105 points on the table. You get bonus points for thinking through how you might activate that Virginia is for Lovers message in some different ways. The application shouldn't take you more than, let's say, 3 to 4 hours. And a couple hours of that might be digging through your own research and some of the VTC research. On our grant application portal, on the right-hand sidebar, you're going to see an instructions document and a Word document where you can type in your answers to the application and then copy paste them into the electronic portal. So a few things you need to do before you start is really think through, what is your focus going to be? What is your capsule campaign going to be? Is it going to be about restaurant weeks? Is it going to be a particularly new craft beer blend that you're releasing for the fall? Is it going to be that you're carrying a new line of products in your boutique retail store? Really think through something very, very focused. You are going to need a letter of support from your local or regional DMO.